First, live, local. This is Fox 12 Now.
Hello, everyone. This is Fox 12 Now. I'm Greg Nibbler. Appreciate you all joining us here. We do have breaking news coverage of a story that's been happening here for the last few hours and has to do with some overdoses in the North Park blocks in downtown Portland, and really the story surrounding that and everything that's been happening. We have Paulina Aguilar is joining us right now. Paulina's been out reporting on this story, this topic, which unfortunately overdoses is all too common, it seems like, in Portland right now, but 8 all in one park. And Paulina, appreciate you being here. I know you're busy covering all of this, but I was hoping you could just kind of bring us up to date on exactly what we know so far as what has happened.
Yeah, of course. It's interesting speaking with Portland Fire and also people in the neighborhood. Usually you hear calls like this and it's one person. So to hear a magnitude of 8 people is shocking to everybody. It happened around just after 10 a.m. Over on Northwest Park Avenue and Cooch Street near the playground area. We were told that 8 people were ingesting a powder, and what happened, they believed it was laced with fentanyl. Emergency crews were called. All 8 people had received Narcan, and 4 of them went to the hospital. So they're said to be okay, but they're still not quite out of the woods. So we're still waiting on details to see the update with them. But here's what we found interesting. We were told that the first person to receive Narcan in that group of 8 people, it was actually given by a citizen who happened to be at the right place at the right time and happened to have Narcan on them. And they're the ones that administered it first before emergency crews even got there. So we were kind of canvassing the neighborhood and talking to people who lived there. And it was just kind of shocking to hear that.
Yeah, one, like you said, 8 people all in one park, one area. There's assumptions that we could draw from that, but obviously we don't know for sure, but maybe it all came from the same source, who knows? But 8 at the same time, that's a lot of people all going through that. But to have a citizen with Narcan, I think that really says a lot too, just about how widespread that has become, that at least somebody had it, happened to be walking by. I'm assuming we don't know much about this individual.
We don't. I'm sure they took off right after it happened, after speaking with police and officials and things like that. But I was speaking to a woman who had lived in the area for 3 years. She mentioned that she was afraid to walk her dog every day in that area because of just what she sees and what she passes by. But she says that it happens so often that she and other neighbors in the area all carry Narcan on them.
Wow.
I was trying to get a glimpse of it. It was in her other purse than the one that she had on her. But she says that that's become so normal that her and multiple people just carry Narcan on them just because. And so she also mentioned that she hasn't used it officially yet, but she's come pretty close. Another thing that's unfortunate to hear is that she's, asked somebody, hey, do you want Narcan? And they just refuse help. And so she kind of, she cares about the neighborhood she lives in. She cares about the people in the city, but she kind of goes back and forth with, well, I want to help, but sometimes they just don't want it. And so that's kind of where she lies right now.
Just the fact that she is carrying it around, that it is that frequent, that she has it on her person just from being right there where she goes on her walks. That's kind of an incredible statement right there. But yeah, people refusing to even take it. There is so much right there that to just kind of analyze and just take home of the fact that that's kind of the state of things of where that's at. So she mentioned, though, that the park blocks are a place where she feels uncomfortable frequently, that north end of the park blocks.
Yeah, she says she doesn't walk when it gets dark, and she always changes up her route just in case. So she's always kind of watching her own back, which is unfortunate to hear. You want to live in a city that you don't have to do that. But
right.
Unfortunately, this is the situation that she is in right now. And so, it's just unfortunate. But we're hoping to hear more details to see how those people are doing. And hopefully we'll get that to you guys right away.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Can I ask you one more question too, just for you
Sure.
personally, because you're out there on the scene for this, and I think sometimes people don't realize you're in the middle of all this. Everybody who's out there reporting, and our videographers or photographers are out there. So for you personally, what was the experience like? Did you feel okay down there filming?
No, I didn't. I mean, if I'm being completely honest,
Yeah.
it was me and our photographer and then another TV crew and then Portland Fire Department, one person. So it was five of us, doing an interview, and there's multiple people surrounding us. And to be transparent, all of our heads were on a swivel. We're watching the back of the fire department. He's watching ours. I'm have someone here on a bike just sitting next to us on our camera. And so we're kind of paying attention to see what they're doing and make sure that everybody's safe. So it was uncomfortable. And the moment our interview was over, we had to leave because it didn't feel safe. And so, obviously this is part of our job.
Hmm.
But this is also why we have people with us at all times, even if it's a different TV crew and the fire department, we were all kind of watching out for each other.
Wow. I mean, that's just, it says so much. Well, I'm really glad that you're okay and that you're safe and you got out of there as soon as you could. But I mean, I think that says as much as everything else too with this story. It's just what you're going through, going out to these different situations and what you're all experiencing. Thank you for sharing that too. I think that's important stuff for people to understand and know what goes into these reports, what goes into you being out there. Well, Paulina, thank you very much. For joining us here to talk about this. I know, like you said, you're going to be doing some more research. Sure, we'll have more information as the day goes on, as we find out some more about what happened. But thank you so much for taking some time to talk to us.
Of course, thanks for having me, Greg.
Yep, appreciate it. All right, and that is Paulina right there here on Fox 12 Now. So again, this is part of what we get to do with this show. This is breaking news, talking about the 8 overdoses that happened there in the North Park blocks in downtown Portland. And, we get to have our reporters on here who are out there in the field. These things that you see on the news, these things that you're reading about, these stories, they're there on location. And so I think that's a really valuable information to find out what the situation is like for her and our crew. Glad they're safe, glad the other crews are safe, and the fire department's safe as well. But yeah, this is a breaking story that's been covered here since this morning. As we get more information, we will, of course, update that on KPTV.com and on our newscast later on. If there's anything else that's breaking news, I will be right here with Fox 12 Now. So wherever you're watching this, whenever you're watching it, that is a platform to go to. We will go live between 1 p.m. and 4 p.m. with breaking news coverage of this and have our reporters, if they're available, to give us their firsthand accounts, firsthand experiences of what is going on out there for whatever the news story may be. So I appreciate everybody joining in. Unfortunately, I don't have a lot more information on this specific story right now. We will update it as we find out more. And I'm sure Paulina's talking to a lot of people right now too, getting more information. We'll have all of that for you at kptv.com. I'll log out for right now. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Greg Nibbler. This is Fox 12 Now.